Here is the English translation of the Chinese text. Gray is the last remaining witch in this world. Legend has it that she was born in the Lost Lands. On this night, the queen suddenly sought her out. It turned out that the queen wanted to possess the power to transform into a werewolf. Faced with the queen's generous reward, Gray naturally had no reason to refuse. She promised the queen that before the full moon night, she would find a werewolf and then take their power and transfer it into the queen's body. Where will you go? The Lost Lands. It turns out that 500 years ago, the Earth suffered destructive damage due to war. Human civilization turned to ashes in the war, leaving only a devastated land. The Lost Lands were born from this, becoming a holy land for the survival of all kinds of evil creatures. But just after the queen left, her guard Garrus secretly found Gray. Using his family heirloom as a reward, he hoped that Gray could stop the queen from obtaining this power. He felt that this power would ultimately destroy the queen.
You lie, Therese. You reek of jealousy.
However, Gray still accepted these conflicting tasks. It turned out that as long as the reward was in place, the witch could not refuse anyone's request. Immediately afterwards, Gray activated her prophecy ability. Everything around her floated into the air. The next second, an image appeared in Gray's mind. A team of adventurers was seen walking through the skeleton-covered ground, and their target was the werewolf in the cave. A pair of scarlet eyes suddenly appeared in the darkness. Later, Gray came to the bar and found the hunter Bois, who had been wandering in the Lost Lands for years. She planned to hire him as a guide for this journey. After learning that Gray wanted to find a shapeshifter who could turn into a wolf, kill them, and take their power, Bois quickly thought of a man named Sauter who lived by Skeleton River and was known as the Giant Wolf. It was said that no one who had gone there had ever come back alive. Bois did not want to take this deal at first, but seeing the reward Gray offered, he agreed. Then Bois took Gray to his friend's house outside the city trading post, intending to rest there for a night before continuing on their journey. Early the next morning, after saying goodbye to his friend, the two began to move forward along the railroad tracks. Before long, monster bones that could be seen everywhere appeared along the way. This also signified that they had stepped into the terrifying Lost Lands. The two then passed through some ruins where the most terrifying monsters of the Lost Lands were hidden. As night was about to fall, the helpless duo could only rest there for a night. Seeing that the night was about to arrive, it would then be the monster's domain. The two knocked over a barrel of gasoline on the ground. Fire was the only thing the monsters feared. As night fell, roars were continuously heard. The monsters revealed their ferocious faces and then rushed towards the two without hesitation. Fortunately, Bois ignited the gasoline, and the monsters dared not approach. But then, the monsters actually carried an iron plate and opened a gap in the fire circle. Luckily, Bois threw out a barrel of oil. The violent explosion repelled them. But at this moment, the two discovered that monsters had long stood on top of their heads. The monsters leaped and came into the fire circle. At the critical moment, Gray stared into the monster's eyes and once again activated the witch's ability, releasing a spell. After releasing the spell, Gray lay weakly in Bois' arms. The two, who had escaped disaster, finally arrived at Skeleton River. There were traces of human life in the cave. This was obviously the werewolf's residence. As long as they waited until the full moon night, the werewolf would return here. Although Bois kept persuading her to give up, Gray still put on the silver claw and quietly waited for night to fall. But at this moment...
I think he's very close now, boys. What say you?
Not yet. There's still time, Gray.
I think you lie! Hunter! There was never any Sardor. Only you.
You knew it was.
It turned out that through prophecy, Gray had long known that Bois was the werewolf.